On the news tonight, INEC says 2023 election results will be transmitted electronically. Clearly clothes Governor Oyetola on security and peaceful coexistence in Osun. ASU raises alarm over exodus of lecturers in the nation's universities. Authorities in Arkansas suspend 3 law enforcement officers over ill treatment of suspects. Good evening and welcome to the Major Reports. Temitope Habakarim is my name. The Independent National Electoral Commission has assured Nigerians that the results of the 2023 general elections will be transmitted electronically. It clarified that it has not jettisoned electronic transmission of results for manual process. National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, who made the clarification in a statement, said the procedure for results transmission in next year's polls will remain the same as obtained in the recent governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states. Okoye was reacting to a report that quoted the commission as saying collation of results during the general elections will be done manually despite the adoption of electronic transmission of results. The reports received negative reactions from the public, including the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who accused the commission of a plot to rig. Okoye said there would be no change in future elections, including next year's poll. He added that the commission's explanation of results was interpreted to mean it had jettisoned electronic transmission and reverted to the manual process. INEC therefore appealed to all Nigerians to avail themselves of the provisions of the Electoral Act and the Commission's detailed explanation of the procedure and not reach a conclusion on the basis of media headlines. The Osun State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal has granted the petitioners in the July 16 giver poll the permission to paste the copy of the petition on the notice board of the tribunal. It also granted the permission to inspect all the materials used in the governorship poll. Chairman of the tribunal, Justice Teta Kume, read the order at the sitting of the tribunal today. Adeyemi Abodemi has the details.
To the petitioners, Chief Yomi Aliu SAN had sought for 2 ex parte applications from the tribunal. The first was to grant the petitioner a substituted means to serve the second respondent, Senator Ademola Adeleke, a copy of the petition since it has become practically difficult to serve him at his residence in Ede and failure to have access to him since the petition was submitted to the tribunal on the 11th of this month. The second was to seek the permission of the tribunal to inspect all the electoral materials used for the July 16 governorship election, as well as the permission to conduct electronic scanning of the voters' registers and ballot papers used for the elections. Both ex parte motions were granted by the tribunal. In granting the service of the petition on the second respondent through a substituted means, the tribunal ordered that the petition should be pasted on the notice board of the tribunal at the High Court Complex, Okefia, Osogbo. Speaking with newsmen after the sitting, counsel to the governor, Adeboyega Oyetola, and the All Progressive Congress, Chief Yomi Aliu, expressed the belief that the tribunal will do justice to the petition.
We have trust in them and we know they will do justice to this petition. That's what we expect. We came here to get justice and we know we are definitely going to get that.
The chairman of the All Progressive Congress in the state, Prince Adeboyega Famodo, expressed confidence that the tribunal will upturn the result of the election as declared by INEC.
Our legal advisor made us to believe so, that we have a very good case, and as such, we are demanding for justice before the tribunal.
Earlier in his opening remark, Chairman of the tribunal, Justice Tasia Kume, had assured the parties of the readiness of the tribunal to abide by their oath of office and be fair and just. Chief Yomi Aliu, who appeared for the first and second petitioners, prayed for wisdom for members of the tribunal to be right and just. Recalled that the All Progressive Congress and the incumbent governor Adeboyega Oyetola had submitted a petition challenging the result of the July 16 governorship election as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission on the 11th of this month. OSBC News observed adequate security at the premises of the High Court Complex Okefia Oshogbo, venue of the tribunal sitting. Adeyemi Aboderi, OSBC News.
The efforts of the administration of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in maintaining and sustaining the tempo of peaceful coexistence, religious harmony, social tranquility, security of lives and property of the citizens have received commendation. The founder of Mercy Prayer Ministry worldwide of the Cherubim and Seraphim, Prophet Moses Kasali, lauded the governor for prioritizing the security and general well-being of the people of the state. Prophet Kasali gave the commendation while delivering his homily as the grand finale of the 5-day crusade at the Nelson Mandela Freedom Park, Osogbo. The clergy, who attributed the reign of peace in the state to the noble character and meek nature of the governor, expressed satisfaction with the manner the state has been governed under his watch. This is even as the governor sought for the continued support and prayers of the citizens in his efforts to continually build a peaceful, stable, and prosperous state. Addressing the congregation, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola implored residents of the state to continue to be law-abiding in their daily conduct in the interest of peace and stability of the state. Governor Oyetola was accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, his deputy, Mr. Benedict Olabi, Secretary to the State Government, Prince Wole Ibamiji, APC State Chairman, Prince Boyega Famodo, members of the State Executive Council, among other dignitaries, said prayer has been the major pillar of all the successes recorded by his administration. As Osun State Government declares a public holiday to mark the Isheshe Dates Day, other governments in the southwest have been urged to follow suit. The Agbongbon of Osogbo land, Chief Ifakayode Ifaniyi, who made the call in an interview with OSBC News, noted that those who engage in ritual killings are not traditionalists, adding that the traditional religion abhors shedding of human blood. Our reporter, Oluchi Amuda, completes the story.
The Isheshe festival is celebrated by all traditional worshippers to pay special homage to their deities, as it often climaxes the culmination of traditional religious activities and festivities. Since 2014, the Osun State Government had often declared the day as a public holiday to allow traditionalists display their culture and spirituality with parties, festivals, parades, as well as display of traditional apparels to attract tourists from other parts of the world. And this year was not an exception. Speaking on the significance of the day, the Agbongbon of Osogbo and Chief Ifakayode Ifaniyi stated that the Isheshe festival is the unification one that allows the adherents of different traditional believers to come together under one umbrella to pray for the progress of the state and the country at large. Chief Ifaniyi, who maintained that Nigeria needs prayers at this trying moment, urged politicians to implement policies that will positively touch the lives of the people, irrespective of ethnicity or political divide.
One day that all people of traditional faith, whether Ifa, Obatala, Ogun, Sago, Oya, all of us will gather together to praise with one voice to Almighty God and to pray for peace, unity, and progress of this country.
While responding to questions about the high rate of incidents of ritual killings in the society, the traditionalists maintain that those who are involved in ritual killings are not traditionalists. He maintained that the traditional belief abhors shedding of human blood for any purpose, just as he called on security agents to always ensure that criminals that perpetrate such heinous crimes are brought to book.
We are using herbal supplement to heal people. We are using animals from the market to heal people, to solve people's problems. So to do things for people's good luck or upgrade, we don't have to kill human being. I thought it's a big abomination. It's a big taboo to drop the blood of human being.
He appreciated the Osun State Government for declaring Isheshe Day as a public holiday, just as he called on the governors in the southwest to emulate Osun State in that area. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
Osun State government says the positive feedbacks and impacts of its food support scheme on people of the state had encouraged it to sustain the initiative. It further disclosed that over 500,000 households had directly and indirectly benefited from the initiative that was introduced last year as a deliberate effort to revolutionize agriculture, encourage young and old farmers, and bring support to the less privileged and vulnerable members of the society. Speaking during the flag-off of the 17th edition of the Food Support Scheme at the Local Government Service Commission State Government Secretariat, Governor Adeboyega Oyetola said it is on record that the initiative has had positive impact in the lives of the people and made living less burdensome to the beneficiaries, who are largely vulnerable segments of the population. Governor Oyetola, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, noted that the introduction of the scheme, codenamed Ounje Lewi, had complemented its efforts as revolutionizing the agricultural sector and boosting the state's economy. According to him, the positive impact of the scheme on the lives of the people were a clear testimony to the fact that the government has been meeting up the target and actualizing the set goals as making life bearable and worthwhile for the citizens. Responding to questions from journalists, the Commissioner for Regional Integration and Special Duties, Engineer Lale Kombagnos, said the scheme had really helped in building a number of entrepreneurs and raising youth to actualize their socio-economic dreams. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has raised their alarm over the exodus of lecturers from the nation's universities for greener pastures abroad. The union attributed the developments to the federal government's poor treatment of its members, which it said had forced many to venture into other sources of livelihood. Speaking to newsmen, the national president, ASU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, lamented that many lecturers had taken to farming and other economic activities, while a large number had left the country. Oshodeke spoke in reaction to the government's refusal to meet some of their demands, including the payment of 7 months backlog of salaries accrued during the strike. Reports say ASU accused the government of failing to release the revitalization funds of universities, failure to deploy the University Transparency Accountability System for the payment of salaries and allowances of university lecturers. ASU had also demanded the release of earned allowances for its members, release of the white paper reports of visitation panels to universities, and renegotiation of the 2009 agreement. Nigerians have been admonished to adhere strictly to the preventive measures so as to curb the rise in cases of monkeypox virus in the country. Those who spoke with OSBC News noted that taking precautions could be the only way out, as there are no vaccines for the monkeypox virus. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga now reports.
The recent outbreak and rise in the cases of monkeypox virus in 26 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja, have instilled fears into many citizens. Monkeypox is a viral disease caused by infected animals such as monkeys, rats, and squirrels, among others. Speaking on this development, Special Advisor to the Governor of Public Health, Dr. Shiji Olamiju, and the Director for Medical Services and Disease Control, Osun State Primary Health Care Board, Dr. Adewale Aderibigbe, maintained that monkeypox is transmitted from person to person through close contact with an infected person, adding that the virus transmits through respiratory droplets, which requires prolonged face-to-face or close contact with another individual. The duo noted that early symptoms of monkeypox virus include fever, serious headaches, back pain, and muscle aches, later on a characteristic rash, which usually start from the face and later spread to other parts of the body.
The monkey could infect any of these animals I have mentioned earlier. And if these animals I've mentioned about, I mean the rat, the mice, or the squirrel, peradventure, bite human being, or human beings come in contact with their fluid, whether blood, whether scab, affected spots in their body, the person could also contact it.
It will start with eruptions of the skin. We call it skin rashes. And these rashes, very soon they will develop water inside, become vesicles. And later on, they now become pus. That's why I call monkey pox. It was first discovered in monkey. That's why the name is monkey
Dr. Olamijo and Dr. Aderibigbe, who noted that though the monkeypox is milder than smallpox, added that preventive measures include putting active cases in quarantine, avoiding infected animals, washing of hands after caring for an infected person, among others.
It is not like COVID that you contact within a short period of time. It is contacted from person to person or face to face through droplets, whether coughing or sneezing, with prolonged contact.
The person is having fever, you give paracetamol. If having pain, you give paracetamol. You give Bico. So that to limit the infection, and then you can use some creams, emollients, to rub the skin so that they will not be breaking, not be having secondary infection.
They implore Nigerians, especially the residents of the state of Osun and its environs, to report any suspected cases, affirming that the Osun state government will take necessary actions in curbing the spread of the virus. Oluwa Tobiloba Odunuga, reporting for OSBC News.
The Nigerian Army has pledged to mask the identity of 2 suspected soldiers arrested by the operatives of Yobe State Police Command for the alleged murder of an Islamic cleric, Sheikh Guni Gashua, in Yobe State. The Assistant Director of Army Public Relations Headquarters, Section 2, Operation Hardin High, Colonel Kennedy Anyawu, has vowed that the Army will unmask and deal decisively with the 2 suspected soldiers involved in the murder of the cleric if found guilty. Colonel Anyawu said the sector, in collaboration with the Yobe State Police Command, is carrying out a detailed investigation to unravel the identity of the suspected soldiers. The police in Yobe had arrested 2 soldiers over the murder of Sheikh Guni Gashua, who was killed near Jajimaji in Karasuwa, the key government area of Yobe State. You are now welcome to our sports segment. Coach Chris Danuma has attributed the Falconets' loss to Netherlands as due to prolific Casey Chinese in front of goal, which eventually lost the team a plan in the semi-final as the ongoing 2022 FIFA Women World Cup. Omotayo Adebodun has detail of this and more from the world of sports.
Out of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup after a 2-0 loss to the Netherlands, the Falconets could not reenact early round performances, which saw them winning all the 3 group stage matches in this their quarter-final match in Alajuela, Costa Rica. That defeat meant elimination for a team that had won all 3 group stage matches, scoring 5 goals and conceding only 1. The Netherlands will now take on Spain on Thursday in the first semi-final fixture after the European side beat Mexico 1-0 in the first quarter-final match. Brazil, who won 1-0 against Colombia in the second quarter-final match, will play against defending champions Japan in the second semi-finals. In the meantime, France, Caroline Garcia and Croatia Bonacori both created history as they claimed victories in the final at the Western and Southern Open in Cincinnati. Garcia, who is 28 years, became the first qualifier to win a WTA 1000 title with a 6-2, 6-4 win against Petra Kvitova. Garcia's win saw her claim the 3rd Masters Trophy of her career after back-to-back successes in Wuhan and Beijing almost 5 years ago. The world number 35 is now set to return into the top 20 ranking for the first time since 2017. After getting through qualifying, Garcia beat 3 top 10 ranked opponents in Maria Sakkara, Aina Sabalenka and Jessica Pegula before another superb performance against Czech 2-time Wimbledon champion Kvitova. No qualifier had won a WTA 1000 title since the tier was created in 2009. Garcia's record of 33 victories in total this year is bettered by only Iga Swiatek, who has 50, Simonila Halep with 39, and Ons Jabeur on 38. In the men's final, Korik, the world number 152, became the lowest ranked player to claim the Masters trophy. He beat Greek 4th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas 7-6, 6-2. The previous holder of the record was then world number 143 Roberto Carretero of Spain, who won in Hamburg in 1996. Korik has been as high as 12th in the ATP ranking before, but was absent for a year with a shoulder injury and only returned to the circuit in March. He beat British number 1 Kanonori in Saturday's semi-final after earlier dispatching Rafael Nadal and Felix Auger-Aliassime. Omotayo Adebodun, OSBC News.
On the foreign scene, 3 Arkansas law enforcement officers have been suspended after a video showing a suspect being pinned to the ground and repeatedly beaten. Kayode Adebayo has the rest of the story.
3 Arkansas law enforcement officers have been suspended for violating the right of a suspect, as one of them was seen in a video repeatedly punching a man in the head and even bashes his head against the pavement, while another officer repeatedly knees the man in the back just as another restrained the man on the ground. Reports say the officers are dressed in the uniform of Crawford County Sheriff's Office. As he is being beaten, the man covers his head with his hands and appears to be trying to roll up into a ball to protect himself. The video has been viewed millions of times on social media and sparked outrage. A woman who is not seen in the video can be heard saying, "Don't beat him, he needs his mercy." One officer responded with an expletive, while another orders her to get in her car. The person who posted the video online said her sister witnessed the altercation in the town of Mulberry. State police identified the man who was arrested as 27-year-old Rondon Worcester. Crawford County Sheriff Jimmy Damante said 2 county deputies have been suspended while Arkansas State Police and his office carry out separate investigations into what happened. In the meantime, Iraqi General Civil Defense Directorate says 4 women and a child were among those killed when a landslide struck at Qatarat al-Imam Ali, while 3 children were rescued and taken to the hospital. An earth mound next to the shrine, 28 kilometers west of Karbala, is believed to have collapsed due to high humidity. The mountain had been collecting water and unfortunately nobody had noticed. The landslide hit the roof of the Qatarat al-Imam Ali, which then collapsed on top of Shia pilgrims inside. Witnesses had reported that the body of another woman was still under the rubble. President Bahram Saleh praised the rescuers as heroes and expressed his condolences to the victims and their families, just as the prominent Shia cleric Muqtada al-Sadr also offered his condolences. The shrine contains a spring where Shia believed the Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law and cousin, and his army stopped to drink from while on their way to a battle in 657 AD. In another development, the New Zealand police said they had discovered the remains of 2 children who are thought to have been between 5 and 10 years old when they died in suitcases. The bodies were discovered after an unsuspecting family bought a trailer load of items, including the suitcases, at an auction for abandoned goods. According to the police, the bodies were likely to have been in storage for several years, which has complicated the investigation into the crime. It further said that a woman of Korean descent, who is believed to be related to the children, is currently in South Korea. Reports say both the storage unit and property where the suitcases were taken have been thoroughly examined by forensic experts. Authorities in New Zealand reiterated that the family who found the bodies was not connected to the homicide. Kayode Adebayo, OSBC News.
To end the major report tonight, I again are the main points. The Independent National Electoral Commission has assured that the 2023 election results will be transmitted electronically. A prominent cleric has lauded Governor Adebayo Itola for sustaining the security and peaceful coexistence of residents in Osun State. We brought to you that Academic Staff Union of Universities has raised alarm over the exodus of lecturers from the nation's ivory towers. And from the foreign scene, we reported that authorities in Arkansas have suspended 3 law enforcement officers over the ill treatment meted out to a suspect. And that ends the major reports tonight on OSBC Television News. Thank you for watching. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. Good night.